The year was 1945. World War II had just ended, and a group of Japanese women, held as prisoners of war, were about to witness something that would shatter everything they'd been told about America. For years, Japanese citizens had been fed a steady diet of propaganda. They were told Americans were brutal, savage, that American soldiers would show no mercy, that their land was barren, their people desperate. These women had lived through the war in constant fear. Many had lost family members. All had suffered, and as they awaited their fate in the hands of their captors, they believed the worst was yet to come. But then something unexpected happened. As part of a work program, a group of these women were transported to rural America, to farms in places like Nebraska, Iowa, and Kansas. What they saw left them speechless. Instead of the devastation they'd been told to expect, they saw something extraordinary. Endless fields of corn stretching to the horizon, massive barns filled with grain, livestock grazing on pastures that seemed to go on forever. And the American farmers? They weren't the cruel oppressors from propaganda posters. They were hard-working people, many with sons fighting overseas, families struggling with their own losses. One woman, later recounting her experience, described the moment she first saw an American farm wife bring out lunch for field workers. The spread included fresh bread, cheese, vegetables, meat, and milk, more food than she'd seen in months. The farmer's wife smiled and offered her a plate. No hatred in her eyes, just simple human kindness. Another woman recalled watching American farmers work with machinery she'd never seen before. Tractors that did the work of 100 men, harvesters that moved through fields with impossible efficiency. They realized in that moment they hadn't just been lied to about American cruelty. They'd been softer, hopeful muesli to about everything, about America's resources, its capacity, its strength. See, what happened next surprised everyone. Despite the language barrier, despite years of propaganda, despite the war that had torn their worlds apart, something remarkable occurred. The farmers and their families saw these women not as enemies, but as human beings. They shared meals. They worked side by side. Some farmers even helped the women write letters home, reassuring families that they were safe. One Japanese woman later wrote, "I had been prepared to die. Instead, I learned to live again, not as a prisoner, but as a person." The American farmers, many of whom had lost sons in the Pacific, found in these women not monsters, but mothers, daughters, and sisters who had also lost too much. This story isn't widely known. It doesn't fit neatly into narratives of victory or defeat, but it reveals something profound about humanity. These Japanese women had been taught to see Americans as the enemy. The American farmers had every reason to harbor resentment. Yet when they met face to face, away from the battlefield and the propaganda, they saw the truth. They were all just people, people who wanted to work, to eat, to live in peace, to return to their families. The abundance these women witnessed on American farms did more than shock them. It helped them understand the futility of the war. No amount of fighting spirit could overcome such industrial and agricultural might. But more importantly, the kindness they received helped them understand something else, that the enemy isn't the person across the ocean. The enemy is the ideology that makes us see other human beings as less than human. Today, few remember these encounters. The women returned to Japan, carrying with them memories that contradicted everything they'd been taught. Some stayed in touch with the families who had shown them kindness. Others kept their experiences private, knowing their stories might not be believed. But their story remains a powerful reminder that even in the darkest times, even between the bitterest enemies, humanity can prevail. Sometimes all it takes is seeing someone else's reality with your own eyes. Sometimes all it takes is breaking bread with a stranger. And sometimes what leaves us speechless isn't cruelty or destruction, but unexpected kindness in the midst of unimaginable pain. Because the most powerful weapon against hatred isn't force. It's simply seeing each other as we truly are, human.